for ladies, you need to be able to know when the guy really loves you. Love is not a feeling. Hi, my name is Niyi Odunsi, and this is still the Good News Channel TV, and I've been talking to you about how to get the best of your teenage years, how to make the best of your teenage years. Now, I was talking to you earlier on about your temperaments and the fact that you have to work on the downsides of your temperaments and not make excuses out of them. Then I try to explain to you that there's a difference between your temperament and your character. So now I want to talk to you about your character. Now, what exactly is your character? When I speak about character, I'm talking about the complex attributes that determine your morals, that determine how you react to things. When we talk about your ethics or when we talk about your morals. Now, what are your morals? Morals really have to do with good or bad behavior. What is acceptable and what is not acceptable. What is good or what is bad when we're talking about your behavior. So when we're talking about your character, we're talking really about how you respond to situations or in circumstances. We're talking about your judgments. We're talking about your values. We're talking about what you believe to be right or what you believe to be wrong. This has to do with society. For example, if you kill a person, that is believed to be wrong in society. So you're going to get arrested, you're going to be tried and prosecuted and jailed because the society believes that it is wrong to take somebody else's life. If you steal, it's the same thing. Society believes that this is wrong. So this is why we have laws, criminal laws that determine how people are supposed to behave in society. So when we're talking about your character, really we're talking about who you are, what defines you, whether we can call you a good person, and this has to do with how you react in given circumstances and situations, whether you're a good member of a society, someone that is contributing to the society, not someone that is taken out of society. Now, let's understand this. When we're talking about character, a lot has to do with your upbringing, a lot has to do with your environment, the environment you grew up in. A lot has to do with what you've been exposed to. For example, if a boy grows up with a father who is a thief, now it's likely that he's going to pick up. If a boy grows up with a father that's a liar, it's likely that he's going to pick up on that. If a boy grows up with a dad who abuses his wife, it's likely that the boy is going to pick that up. If a boy grows up with a dad who is violent, it's likely that he's going to pick that up. So it's important who you hang out with, apart from who gave birth to you. If you this is why you find people joining gangs. If you move with the wrong friends, it's likely that you're going to pick things from them. If your friends are people who do drugs, very soon you're likely to start doing drugs yourself. So your environment, to a large extent, determines your character. Now, the way the Bible puts it is, evil communication corrupts good manners. That means the people you work with are going to determine to a large extent who you become. They're going to determine to a large extent the way you think. They're going to determine to a large extent the way you behave, the way you react given situations and circumstances. So I understand that as a teenager there's a tendency to want to hang out with other people. Now you have to be very careful about who you hang out with. You have to be very careful about the kind of friends that you make. Now, one thing I didn't tell you, I'm also a lawyer, and I found out, and in fact research does show also, that at least 90% of guys in correctional facilities or prisons are there because they made the wrong choice of friends. A lot of people are in trouble today because of their friends. Friends have a tendency to influence you. Look, one thing is certain, you don't know everything. Now, sooner or later, you're going to need advice from someone. And who are you going to ask when you need advice? Most of the time, it's going to be your friends. So when you ask your friends for counsel, they're going to give you advice based on who they are, based on their character. So if you're hanging out with the wrong crowd, if you're hanging out with people that you shouldn't be hanging out with, when you ask them advice, they're going to give you the wrong advice and you're going to land in trouble. So if you don't understand anything or you haven't gotten anything I've said, get this. Your friends, to a large extent, will determine where you end up in life. So you have to be careful. One thing that people often say is, eagles don't hang out with vultures. If you're an eagle, what are you doing with vultures? Find eagles, find other eagles and hang out with them. You need to make friends with people that you can learn with. You need to make friends with people who are better than you are. I mean, if you're in school, for example, it makes sense to hang out with people who are doing better when it comes to your books. Hang out with them. You can learn something from them. When you see people who have good qualities, make friends with them because they're going to influence you.